Okay, this is the training tape for week 0 for the games. Overall, great job. I appreciate those referees who've done their breakdowns and sent them to me. It's a great help getting this tool out to everyone. So this first play we're going to see, and we're going to see the aftermath of a big hit. And with this situations like here, we hope that we're never in a situation like this. But unfortunately, in this situation, with all that's happening right here, we only have ejection for one player and one player only. That's on the team in the white for one of their players coming off the bench. As you can clearly see, the team in the black at the bottom, half their team's out in the field, and then we have this player here who just threw down his helmet, and a few others who have come on the field. And it appears to me the referee, who's right here, is looking and writing down numbers, but I'm still a little bit baffled to understand why only one player was ejected here. So how can we handle this situation a little bit better? So first off, overall the crew did a very good job breaking this up and not having a full-on brawl. They got involved. They got players out. I don't know if you can see where my cursor is right here in the middle of the screen, but I would not advise this kind of behavior by the umpire, pulling a player like that, stretching his or her jersey. Do your best to get this broken up without doing something like that. I know our tempers get heated and everything, but allow the coaches to do the grabbing and pulling. Okay, when you pull from behind, bad things can happen because the player might not know it's an official pulling from behind and turn around and throw a punch at you or shove you, and then you're going to eject the player and be involved in a lot more stuff that's going on here. So everyone who came off the bench should be assessed in unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams, coaches too. Okay, I'd be maybe a little bit more lenient on the coaches if they're coming on the field to break up the fight. It's okay, it's allowed to happen. But we don't want players coming out and doing this. As you can see over here in the upper left-hand corner, this player's hurt. Must have been from a big hit, which caused this brawl. But you can see a policeman here coming out. I think one comes out later on. He comes out and breaks it up a little bit more. We'd like, honestly, to see a little bit more hustle from that policeman. But hey, but the crew should get together, and when situations like this happen, there should be someone who's recording all the numbers and assessing unsportsmanlike conduct in situations like this. All right, the first couple plays, we're going to talk about referee mechanics here. And for referees, you should be between 12 and 14 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and your width should be just outside the tight end. So as we can see here with this official here, he's a little bit too wide. Whenever the ball is snapped on the right hash like this, at minimum, maximum, I'm going to say, we should be at the bottom of the numbers, because what happens here is if the quarterback all of a sudden does a boot to the other side, we're responsible for that quarterback, and that is a long way for us to go. Okay, so let's line up 12 to 14 yards in depth, 12 to 14, and the width should be a little bit wider than where the tight end is lining up. So here we have, looks like we have center, guard, tackle. A tight end would be here. Like I said, the top or bottom of the numbers I'm okay with depending on your speed, but we definitely should not be standing on the sideline here whenever we're doing our initial position here. Next play, same thing. We're standing on the sideline, the ball's on the right hash. On the other side of the field, 12 to 14 yards, we're at the 30-yard line, and we're lined up at the 15. That's fine. I do like the angle in. I'm not a big fan of referees leaning over, because once the ball is snapped, you're probably going to stand up. So you're just wasting movement there. But being 15 yards wide here, and maybe be a little bit further in to where the X is, for your width. So let's just check out and see if that referee does. No, he stays crouched. But look what happens here. Look how far this play illustrates my point exactly. You have a quarterback who rolls to the other side, and look how far away we are from that person right now. This referee needs to be trailing this quarterback right away. I think it's the quarterback. No, it's a pitch. I'm sorry. But let's just say this is the quarterback. The referee needs to be out here. So it just gives you a long way to go, and it gives you a long look to go. Okay, because with you being a little bit closer, you'll be in here a little bit closer to the players there on that situation. This referee's lined up a little bit better. A lot better actually. We're in the middle of the field. No. So here we have center, guard, tackle. The tight end would he be here near the hash? You know, between there and here, I'm okay with this initial position in depth. It's about 14 yards deep, which is good. This is good positioning by this referee. Next one, this is better too. Center, guard, tackle, tight end. This referee's lined up exactly where we want him to be. 14 yards deep, just outside the tight end. Good mechanics here by this referee. Finally, you know, we have one on the right hash, and I think I mentioned earlier, the bottom of the numbers here is fine. Either the bottom or the top of the numbers here is a good spot. You can see the difference here between this lineup and the first referee who was lined up over on the sideline. This will also help you whenever the ball goes to this side, you're going to work backside. So it helps you get a little bit of the look of that center while that umpire works that front side mechanics in those situations. So this next play, we're going to look at the mechanics by the side judge, and you know the initial position is great. Okay, and what we'll see here is a pass out to the side, you know, and I'm sure the side judge is locked right here on that block, and that's exactly where he or she should be. But what he doesn't do is get any depth. Okay, right now he's just taken a couple steps back, maybe 3 yards. Then all of a sudden the runner's breaking towards him. Still doesn't move, and the runner gets tackled right in line with him. So right about this point, side judge, you should turn your hips a little bit and start getting depth. And in doing so, this person right here is probably in your way, and we need to move that person out of the way or issue them a sideline warning. So I think that's what happens here. So this is a key area where we have the tool to use a sideline warning to possibly use it. So, but we got to get a little bit depth. At this point, we should be about back here. Okay? And when the play finishes, our mechanics, we should be about here or maybe even to here. Either or is fine, given the kill the clock signal. As our head linesman comes down the field and we tell them the spot to stop at, and they stop at the spot, and we just dead ball officiate. So that's. Now let's look at this play for crossfield mechanics. By crossfield mechanics, I mean the mechanics between the head linesman and the line judge. So we have a pitch out to the left, and we have forward progress stopped at this point. So that this is great mechanics by the head linesman here. If you'll notice, he backs out right away and lets the play go in front of him, and watch his head. His head is looking at the blocking, looking for maybe a potential IBB or illegal block in the back by number 57 right here. So the runner gets taken back a little bit, and we have a wind, which is excellent mechanics because the runner's forward progress was stopped in bounds. So here's where we, included in the wind, just get out in the field a little bit and face in towards all of this so that you can watch the players get up, see if there's no shoves to the face, and then your line judge at the bottom of the screen should have squared off and given you a soft spot. So when you decide to, all these players disperse, and you come in here and get the ball to that umpire is going to turn, and he's going to take the spot from the line judge at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so look, and you're going to walk up, and you're going to line yourself up with the line judge who's giving you a soft spot, and it's going to look very smooth and very crisp. And anyone who's watching the game is going to know these two wings have it going on today. All right, forward, backwards, pass mechanics. So these are the ones that are nightmares for wing officials. So right here, we have a running back that takes 2 steps into the backfield, and we have a quarterback who releases the ball from about the 19.5-yard line. Let's see where the ball is caught. First touched, at the 21-yard line. So we have a backwards pass, and you can see up at the top of the screen the head linesman. Even though that's not his primary, he's helping out by stepping into the backfield, because it makes it a little bit more difficult right here for the line judge, because the line judge is probably watching his key right here, who is that block. So when you see this situation, either wing, if you're walking in the backfield and you see this backwards pass, punch backwards. Line judge has the primary on this, but that doesn't absolve the head linesman in this situation from punching back, okay? And I like the way the head linesman walks into the backfield. Just punch back so that if the ball does hit the ground, the line judge can look up and see that you've punched back, and we don't blow the whistle and have an inadvertent whistle, okay? So that's a way we can do some cross-field mechanics. So here's an interesting situation where number 18 is the 12th player, and they decide to get off. Okay, if I count correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this is number 12. So what makes this difficult is the people responsible for counting the offense are the R and the U. And the last thing we really want them to do is look to the sideline. Okay, so we can use some communication, whether we have O2O or whether we have other mechanics. So we're saying we got 12, and if 18 gets off the field before the ball is snapped, then we have a nothing. If he doesn't get off the field before he snaps, then we have illegal substitution. The other thing we could have is illegal motion, right? Because we have a wide receiver on the line going in motion. Okay, so either way, we have a foul here. Looks like we pick it up here, but these are tough. These are tough mechanics here. Especially whenever we're near the sideline and the referee and the umpire who are responsible for this are looking inside. So let's talk about a little bit this week on crew communication, on if a play happens like this. Referees, umpires, how are you going to communicate this to the wings? And move forward from there. So, listen, we talked about this team doing this a little bit last year. Whenever you have the numbering exception, whenever the center puts his hands on the ball, that locks the numbering exception in. That means that anybody who is ineligible by position, if there is a shift, that player cannot become eligible by position. Okay? I don't have a shot down the line to tell this, but I can't tell if these 3 players are on or off the ball. I'm going to assume, since there was no flag on the play, that the person at the top of the screen had all 3 of these players off the ball, making this person eligible by position and by number. However, if they snap the ball here, we would have a foul for illegal formation, because we would only have 4 players on the line of scrimmage. So what happens next is these players shift all into an ineligible position. So that's legal. You can shift from an eligible position to an ineligible position, and that everything is okay. So let's just be aware, if you have this team, you may want to talk to the coach beforehand. Do you do any shifting before you punt? And talk to him about, during the numbering exception, no one can move from an ineligible position to an eligible position whenever there is a shift. All right, next play, we're going to look at the depth of this number 77 here on the tackle. Okay, we don't like to be technical and split hairs whenever we're talking about illegal formations here, but the butt of the center here, the ball is being snapped, it looks like, from the 49-yard line. The butt of the center, is probably, maybe around the 49.5-yard line. It's tough whether or not to know this number 77 is back or not. Looks like he is, because what makes it difficult for us is we're calling this receiver off the ball, and that receiver is in line with the tackle. So that optically gives us a bad look. So, you know, if this was early in the game, which is this play 22, which is kind of earlier in the game, it might be the first possession by this team. I'd go in and I'd talk to this tackle and tell the head coach, hey, get number 77 to move up a little bit. You know, he's starting to, starting to get into the backfield a little bit. Next play we're going to look at is an illegal formation, and we're going to talk about ineligibles downfield too. So first, the legal formation's called on this play. Listen, I can't tell. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then I can't tell if this player inside is on or off the ball. I have no doubt. I'm not going to question the line judge. I think that player is no doubt off the ball, or he wouldn't have called it. So we have a legal formation because we only have 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Now let's move to ineligible downfield. So for ineligible receiver downfield, when the ball is released, no ineligible player, lineman, or covered up wide receiver can be more than 2 yards down the field when the ball is released by the quarterback. So let's take a look at this play here, and we'll see. I'll stop it when the ball is released. Let me go back a little bit. That flag initially is for the illegal formation. When the ball is released, so the ball was snapped at the hard line at the 20, so we're looking for anybody at the 18. So I'm going to see if I can draw. Let's check my artwork here. We're going to draw a straight line the whole way across to the 18. Did I get the play? Did I? Yep. So we're looking at to the 18. Right when the ball's released. Right here, and we have this receiver, we have this lineman right here looks to be standing about the 18-yard line, okay? And so how do we officiate this play? Once the ball, whenever we see a lineman who is more than 2 yards, and I would draw my line of demarcation about 3, I'd look back at the quarterback. If the ball is away, we're not going to call that for an ineligible downfield, because we know these players move at a pretty high rate of speed, because they can make up a lot of ground. And the other thing is we can never guess, okay? Because what happens here is we guess for an ineligible downfield, because when the ball's released and all of a sudden we have a couple linemen right here, right down with the person trying to make the catch. And optically it looks like, holy cow, how did those linemen get downfield? They had to be downfield when the pass was released. But when we look on the film and when it's released, look how much ground they cover. The ball is released. They're all at 2. Look how much ground they cover while the ball's in the air. They cover almost 10 yards before that ball comes down. So what I'm telling you is just be careful whenever you're looking at these plays. If you don't see it for sure, don't guess, because especially on ineligible downfield, you're going to guess wrong way more often than you're going to guess right. Okay. Next play, we're going to look at another ineligible downfield. So same scenario here. When the ball is released, do we have linemen downfield? So the ball is snapped here at the 42-yard line. Our line of demarcation is pretty easy here. It's a big line at the 40, so I'm starting to look at guys whenever they cross the 40. So let's take a look at it. Oh, and I forgot to add, the other component to an ineligible downfield is the pass must cross the line of scrimmage. So ball is released. Do we have any ineligibles downfield? Do we have component 1? Number 55 right here is at the 38-yard line. So that is 4 yards downfield. So yes, we do have someone who is downfield. Now the next component, does the pass cross the line of scrimmage? The ball is caught a yard and a half, 2 yards down. Oh no, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 yards downfield. So we have both components here. So how do we officiate this call, which is a very difficult foul to officiate? So the person who has responsibility for the pass crossing the line of scrimmage is the line judge at the bottom of the screen. Umpires here, once you read pass, what you should do is move up to the line of scrimmage. And one thing you may want to do is move up to about 3 yards. So that will help you know if there's a lineman next to you prior to the ball being released, they are downfield. And then the other person that can help is the head linesman, because right now their only key is this tackle, who hopefully after this play we talked to them about being a little bit too far deep. So when we see all these linemen fire out like this, our antennas should go up, because we have a block here that's not going much. We could take a peek inside. Oh, look, number 55 is already, after the fake, more than 2 yards down the field. So I already have my potential IDP hanging, ineligible downfield. I throw my flag, and then next thing I do is I go and talk to my line judge and say, hey, Mr. or Miss Line Judge, did the pass cross the line of scrimmage? If the person says yes, then we keep the flag down when we report the ineligible downfield to the referee. If the line judge says no, then we pick up the flag and the referee clicks on the mic and says, there is no foul for an eligible receiver downfield. The ball was first touched behind the line of scrimmage. So this is a good play to talk about. It's between the short wings and the umpire. But these are tough plays. But as we see more run pass options with these teams, it's what we're going to encounter. So we have to make sure we're on the ball and understand the rules to this situation. Next, we're going to look at we're going to talk a little bit about holding. We're going to look at number 50 here, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the referee's. Well, it's going to be the referee's key because the play is going to that side. The line judge might get a little peek at this too. So we have initial block. So we have a little bit outside grab. So what can that blocker do? He can keep his feet and hold still, or he can just continue to move his body around to shield off. But they can't twist and throw to the ground. So let's look at this play. There's a little twist there, I'll admit to you, but honestly, I don't think anything right there rises to the level of a hold. Number 50 just gets in. He just uses a little bit of his strength. He pushes. Yeah, it looks a little bit awkward because of the outside grab here, but I feel this is more of a push than a grab and restrict, so I'm okay with there not being a flag on this play. Next, on this play, we're going to look at the right tackle, number 56, this player right here. We'll go through our process of indicators and see if we can come to a conclusion either way. I'm sorry, it's the left tackle, number 56. Right there. So whose key is this? In this formation, it looks like it could be the head linesman's key. And then the umpire who's working front side could possibly also see this. So right now we have a stalemate. Hands are inside. Does the blocker work his feet? A little bit. Is there a little grab? Yes. But there's nothing that really disrupts number 6's movement here. There's a slight push at the end. Number 6 doesn't ever appear to lose a step. So this is a good job here by the head linesman and the umpire to recognize this and not throw a foul for holding here. Next, we're going to look at the left guard, number 51, right here. I'm sorry, it's the center, number 51 right here. Got my notes mixed up. So let's see. We have an outside grab just a little bit. not really that much. Let's see what he does. All he does is he pushes the defender right to the ground. There was no twist of the hips. There was no grab and pull down. All he does is he has a push on the side, and he pushes the defender right into the ground, and the umpire, looking right at it, does a really good job of not calling holding in that situation. We're going to look at number 67 here. And I'm right this time. There's number 67. So a lot of times what we don't like to do is we have a play going to the top of the screen, and we have number 67 who's pushing this defender. We don't like to get too involved with holds that are out, away from the play. But what I don't like seeing, and this runner cuts back up, so we cannot say this defender's outside of here. So watch what number 67 does. If he could have done exactly the same as the center did on the previous play and just push the defender to the ground, but watch what 67 does here. He pulls him and he tackles him. Okay, and this is a foul that rises to the level of a hold because of that pull to the ground right there. And I know it's far away from the play, but we can't let takedowns like this happen, because what happens is this defender gets mad, maybe pops this guy in the face, and then we're throwing a flag on the defender because he's the one who got his butt pulled to the ground. So in that situation, that's a clear and obvious hold that should be called in a situation like this. The runner is not that far away from the play. And for those who will say, well, I don't want to throw a flag because the runner got sacked for a loss. We got to watch using that philosophy, because the 10 yards will become from this spot. So it'll either be third and long, or second and maybe double digits here. But let the coaches decide on that situation. Okay, don't make that decision for them. In a situation like this when we have an obvious hold like that. All right, this play has two things. We're going to move away from holding, and we're going to go into blocks in the back. This play has both of them. We're going to take a look at the block by number 50. And number 50 is right here, is the right tackle. So let's take a look at this play here. So right now, this block right here, the indicator is the blocker's beat. Okay, so the only thing the blocker can do is put his hands on him and push the defender in that direction. But what we'll see here, what the blocker will do is he hooks the defender. You can see the arm hooked right here, which is restricting the defender from, and what we'll see here is the defender's really trying to make a move on the play. So this is something that we want the defenders to be able to do to show us the hold. So he's trying to make a play, and he gets hooked and gets out of the play. So right there, we should have a flag for holding on that play. Next, we're going to take a look at number 10 here. And this makes it a little difficult because this is the line judge's key. The line judge has these two players right in here. So number 10 comes out and engages. So if I'm the line judge here, there's space here, so I'm not worried too much about him here. With the sweep coming this way, this block is the key block, right? So we have engagement and then disengagement, okay? Number 27 has a clear path to try to make this tackle. What happens next is he gets hit in the back right at the point of attack, and they score a touchdown. And we should have a foul down here for a illegal block in the back. I'd like to say the referee could have a call, but with that tackle action here, he's probably locked up in that moving front side. So normal situation, if he saw that tackle just in a stalemate, his eyes can move to the outside, and he might be able to catch that illegal block in the back too. But that. Next play, we're gonna look at what's happening at the bottom of the screen. So right now we know this is the field judge's key. We know this is the line judge's key. So when we have a situation like this, right now, hold on. Right off the bat, right here, our field judge sees this and should go right to this player right here. Because what happens here is the line judge has to make sure this passes forward and or caught behind the line of scrimmage. Don't be a ball watcher. line judge and head linesmen in these situations, if you can feel that ball coming forward and you can help with this block, it's a long look for the field judge, but they should be able to get it. Look what happens here. We have a shove in the back right at the point of attack that allows us to get a gain. Any type of push in this situation, this is called chase mode. Any type of push in the back like this is enough for a foul for a block in the back. All right, next we're going to move the blocking below the waist. We're going to look at the left guard here. Our new rule here has the lineman on the line have to go immediately at the snap. Look at the left guard. Does he go immediately after the snap? Low? Yes, he does. So this is a good no call on number 57 for blocking below the waist. This is a good job not throwing the flag here. Next play here, we're going to look at the center. Do we have that situation here? Let's look at the center. Does he go immediately at the snap? Yep. Right at the snap, he goes low. Again, good no call for block below the waist here. Okay, I just want to give you a few illustrations of the new rule right there and good no calls. We're going to take a look at this running back. Are they on the line? Is that running back on the line at the snap? Obviously no, so he's restricted. It cannot block below the waist. Let's see what happens here. We have a block below the waist, which our referee does a good job getting. And and as you can see here, there's good tandem work here by the line judge and the deep wing here. We have a catch. Let's not forget to kill the clock first. Kill the clock, give the catch signal, come down and get the spot. But show it one more time. This is a foul for a block below the waist. All right, late hit piling on. So when you have teams like this, it's hard to know who has the ball. I can understand this, but I think this is a handoff up the middle to the fullback. He's hit, and let's look at the body posture of this defender here. He lowers his helmet and goes right into the pile. Is it late? Probably not, but this is definitely a dangerous play. And, it's more dangerous for the defense than it is the offense because of the way the defender comes in. If that crown of the head contact happens, is it forcible on the player? I'm not sure. But I just wanted you to take a look at the body posture by that defender. And that's what we should be looking at for the targeting call. Blindside block. We're going to watch this receiver up here. That's our side judge's key. Side judge, don't stand on the pylon. Be back a little bit wider, in case you have a play at this pylon. But, in head linesman, our key is probably here. We're working the tackle too. But whenever you have, so watch what the receiver does. Number 5 takes an immediate line right into the, so our antenna should be up both by the side judge and by the head linesman. And that is right there. That is forcible contact from the side that comes outside the frame of the person being blocked. He cannot see it. This is a foul for a illegal blindside block that would be, supported any day. Many years ago, these were just football hits. We're trying to protect the players here. Now, for this not to be a foul, that the blocker can do one of two things. He can lead with his hands, or he could set a pick like a basketball pick. So those are the two ways it could be legal. But in this situation, it is not legal and is a blindside block. All right, next play, we're gonna have 2 plays that deal with unsportsmanlike conduct, and we're looking for outward displays of taunting, or places where we have too much excessive celebration. We'll talk about that in these 2 plays. So we have a touchdown here. Oh no, I pulled the wrong play. Okay, I pulled the right play this time. We're going to look at the touchdown and what happens with the wide receiver, with the running back after the play. It's really brief and quick, but it illustrates my point. And you can see I'm still not in mid-season form with these tapes, so I apologize for the little mishap right there. So again, I like the way the referee's lined up, just outside the tackle, where the tight end would be located. But what we'll see here is a real nice catch by the wide receiver. So I'm going to slow it down because the film cuts out. So what you'll see here is an overt act to spin the ball. He doesn't just throw it down. You could see the spin. He attempts to, You can just see it right at the end. And I'll slow it down. You can see him spin the ball. So he tries to spin the ball, I'll bet not very good, but what happens is our side judge or field judge over here catches it, throws a flag, a correct call for an unsportsmanlike act. You know, he didn't drop the ball down, he didn't slam it down as excitement, that's not a spike. He intentionally spun the ball, and this is a good job here by the side judge to be aware of this situation. So next, we're going to move on to a situation where, you know, the team in blue is behind, you know, and it's a really tight game, and we have a pick six. Boom. Really exciting part right at the end of the game. You can see it's play 164. And we throw a flag for this, for him putting up the number 1 signal going into the end zone. And it was deemed to be taunting. If you felt this was taunting, I'm going to ask the question, who is he taunting? He's at his home field. He's excited. He's, you know, it's the first game of the year against a rival team, and he's scoring a touchdown. This is where we need, as officials, what we call situational awareness. Okay? Understand that this game has a lot of emotion and a lot of excitement. If he turns around and points at a player, if he turns his head and points at an opponent, or turns towards the bench of the opposing team and does this and points at them, I fully and 100% would agree with this call. However, this person is really excited. He goes in the end zone right here, and we should not have inserted ourselves into this situation, okay? Because think of the ramifications of this call. There's going to be a kickoff after this to where this 15 yards is going to be added to the succeeding spot at the kickoff. So the team that just got scored on will have another 15-yard advantage for something like this. Are you comfortable doing this in the championship game, in the state championship game, in the district championship game? This is a situation where we should just talk to the kid, go and talk to the coach and be like, Coach, I know he's excited. Let's just make sure we're not taunting at someone else. Okay, I didn't feel it was that time. You could have handled this a lot better than a situation like this. We don't see this very often, defensive holding. Watch what this player does right here on the defense. And you'll see this a lot when teams are playing against, teams are a little bit smaller in size and tackles are trying, or guards are trying to get to the second level. This is a pass play, but it catches you off guard here, but we can't allow defenders to do this, because what happens here, what does it do? Watch number 25 who comes and blitzes right here. This defensive end takes out this tackle who could have gave a shot to the defensive end and then gave another shot to the blitzing linebacker here, and the blitzing linebacker gets in on the quarterback. Okay? So we cannot be surprised, or, we have to be aware that there could be defensive holding. So this would be a foul for defensive holding because he's pulling this tackle right out of the play to allow somebody, it's called a pull and shoot, if you're looking for the correct terminology. So he's pulling this guy to the ground and allowing the linebacker to shoot around. And this should be called for a foul for defensive holding. All right, the last couple plays are a little bit of clock management. This is the end of the half. I think there's like around 2 minutes to go in the game. So we get a real good call on this receiver here by the line judge here. So what ends up happening is there's a pass, and number 6 levels that receiver from the side. We get a call for DPI, which I can understand because the ball's coming behind. It's in the vicinity of this player who does get hit. But what I think we could have done here is taken a deep breath and thought, okay, well, this receiver got flattened, but the ball went to this receiver. Okay, so in this situation, we'd want to call an unsportsmanlike, unnecessary roughness, for a illegal blindside hit, because the defense can't just blow up receivers like this. So this would be a live ball foul for a blindside block on the defense. And I like the way the official, she throws her flag, continues to officiate, comes in, and goes and reports the foul on the 0-2-0. It would be better if we gave a preliminary outright, but I really like the way this call is made. So the reason I say let's call this a blindside block instead of a defensive pass interference is because with defensive pass interference, the only enforcement spot is the previous spot here from 15 yards. If we call this an illegal blindside block, we can add the 15 yards to the result of the play. Okay? So we're going to move to the next play. We're trucking down under 2 minutes to go in the game. We have a catch in bounds short of the line to gain. Let's look where the line to gain is. The line to gain is the 24-yard line. Ball is caught, and the runner is down about the 24.5, so we're short of the line to gain. The line judge knows this, but for some reason the referee comes up and kills the clock. Okay, and normally this doesn't matter, but as Murphy's Law dictates to us at the end of the half or the end of the game, time is of the essence. So what happens here is the crew allows 4 or 5 seconds to run off the clock. The referee then realizes that the clock should have been running and winds it back up. So just keep in mind, that 4 to 5 second range here. Okay, so then we have the next play where we get a first down. We kill the clock as we should. Somebody might say that this is aiding the runner, but I'm saying that he's trying to block someone. Aiding the runner is picking someone up and physically carrying them. So we have a first down here. Next, we move to the next play. Time is still clicking down. And I want to show this play because I want to commend this field judge for an excellent judgment not calling pass interference here. Because if we look here, we have 4 eyes looking back at the ball. And, you can say that the defender might be holding the arm down of the wide receiver, but the wide receiver is trying to keep his own space, and he's equally pushing on this defender. And we have a good job here by the field judge and the line judge not calling defensive pass interference. So the next play, time still clicking down. We're about 14 seconds to go. The line to gain is where now? The looks like the 14-yard line. The 14-yard line. And he gets tackled at the 13-yard line inbounds, right? So our mechanics should be we kill the clock and we either get on the 0-2-0 or tell the referee that we have a first down inbounds, but we don't want to wind and kill because our clock operators, and especially the one in this instance, sometimes don't really catch this, let a second or two run off the clock that shouldn't run off the clock. But our mechanic here, we gotta conserve as much time for the offense. Whenever they get a first down, we should just kill the clock right here. So as I told you earlier, you're gonna remember the 4 to 5 seconds. There was 2 seconds to go at the end of this game. At the end of this call, where the offense called timeout and then attempted a field goal, which they really shouldn't have been able to attempt had we worked this correctly. But in your pregame this week, let's talk about ball rotation, clock mechanics, knowing the line to gain, having someone watch the clock. It's very important. It doesn't matter as much during those let's just say those 44 minutes of the game, but under 2 minutes of the game in the half, it really can creep up on us and make a great performance just a above average performance. So thanks for all those who are watching. I'm sorry this is a little bit long, but I had a lot of good plays in it. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks, and good luck next week.